Hello class and welcome to the lab. Today we're going to be talking about making a Python script that helps you make new users. The reason people like to use Python scripts to do this instead of just Bash is Python scripts are really easy to make, they're really easy to read, and they can be used anywhere Python's available. And also, Python's just kind of a neat language to use. So that covers why we'd want to use it. But how do we do it? Well, we'll build one real quick and then we'll test it in one of my virtual machines. So I've got Virtual Studio Code pulled up here and we'll start typing out some processes on how we do that. So the first thing we need to do is import the subprocesses, and subprocesses will let us use the bash script with Python. So subprocesses, and there we go, it's already here for us. Perfect. Next thing we need to do is something for password security. This is going to be making user accounts, and with that we'll have to do passwords, so we'll do getPass. And what getPass will do is let us type in passwords but not have it echo back at us for safety reasons. First thing we need to do now is we need a variable for the usernames, and I think an app name is username. Alright, well, username's not spelled quite right, but that's, nope, we're good. Alright, so now we need input from the user. And all this will do is ask them a question like, please enter a username. Alright, now that that's in there, I need another one for passwords, and then we'll do some quick notes. And I think the variable for password should just be password. Oh, maybe you spell password right? Alright, this one's going to be a little different. Now remember I said getPass. We're going to use that to keep our thing secure. So I need to do getPass, and that'll help secure our passwords. And still we need to ask them or prompt the user. So we'll do please enter password. And then we'll say 8-character password. Alright, and I said an 8-character password for a reason, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's do some quick comments. Comment 1 allows us to use bash. Comment 2 allows secure password transfer. Good. Let's do this comment here, and that will store our password or username variable. And this one here, we'll do one last one, stores a password variable. Oh, just forgot the R. There we go. Okay, so I said 8 characters for a reason, and that's because I want to check the password against another function. And what I would like to do is use a while function. So I'll make sure I leave that there so I remember the comment, but I'm going to use the while, and then I'm going to use the len function, which will help us check the password against a set of rules. So first we need to do password, which is already auto-populated for us, and then we're going to do less than. So for this rule, I have while len is password less than 8, and I'll have this done here. So if it's less than 8, it'll print this message: password invalid. Please retry. There we go. And now I need to actually have them retry. And for that, we're going to do the same function here over again because we're going to resubmit that variable. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, paste that here, but we're going to give it a new message. There's my paste. Perfect. And this time, we're going to say, please re-enter the password. A valid password. Perfect. That looks pretty good so far. So we'll do a quick comment. While function for checking password length. All right. We've got our variables. We have our password checker to make sure they're up to snuff. Now we need to start trying things. And for that, we can use the try function. Now, try is super awesome because, oh, I'm in the wrong indent. Try is super awesome because try lets us do something, and then if it doesn't work out, it lets us try something else. It lets the command continue, or the Python script continue without crashing. And for this, I'm going to try to add a user with add user. So I need results. Store the variable for it so I can use the rest of this function. Equals, and then we're going to do subprocess here. So remember, subprocess is what's letting us use the script, the bash part of the script. So we're going to half that out for now. Almost forgot. This needs a dot run. That's the part of the subprocess we're using right now. And that'll let us do this here with a square bracket. Oh, not a curly, square. And then we need to individually make parts of the command. So we need sudo, a comma, and then again, we need to do space and the tag marks again for the next part of the command, which is going to be the add user, or user add, excuse me. Good. Make sure we put that comma in there. Now this section here is going to allow me to make a directory for that user. And then, comma, now we're going to call on that user name variable. So the user will put their input, and then we're going to call it here so that we can use that for their username. So this last comma is important when we stack down here. Good. So we need to make a couple changes here. So we're going to check to make sure that that actually ran. If that's true, and it should be, we can move on to the next part, which is the capture output. There we go. And that should equal true as well. Good. And then text. And that, oh, a nice equal here already for me. And that needs to be true. Perfect. So, next line, we need to come down here and close that out. Good. Now this isn't quite complete. A try block on its own can't do much because it doesn't have the other part of that, which is the accept. And here is where I can call that in. Perfect. And then we're going to do another subprocess that's going to handle the error. So here is where I'll call the call error. Oops. I've got the wrong deal there. Here we go. Call error process. Perfect. And then we can store that as E here. And then it'll print this message that I'm going to type in right now. Invalid user? Sure. Let's say failed. All right, so it failed to add user, but it's still not quite done. So it needs a little bit more. So we need to actually get the standard output, or standard error, excuse me. So we'll call that E that we did first, and then we'll do standard error. Good, and then we'll strip the white space out of that. Perfect. And then it needs a spot to put it in. All right. Good. So that's that part of the command. Now let's do some quick notes here. He tries to add user from username variable. Perfect. And then this one prints error message. We'll give that another space. And put a comment here. All right. Okay. So for this to continue, we'll use else. Of course, you need to spell that correctly. And we're going to try something new here. We're going to do the next try block for trying to add the password. And we're going to use the change password for that. So I'll do ahead and add the comment now. Use the change password to add, oops. User. All right. So how do we do that? We're going to do subprocess. And then we're going to do another run. And here we go with those square brackets again. And the sudo, which we got to tack out. Make sure you put that comma in for the next portion of it. Now this one's going to look a little different. Let's see with the change password. All right. Perfect. Now I need a comma at the end of this for the next part of that section, which is going to do the input. And then that needs to equal an F string to put the right things in place. Good. And I need curly brackets, and we're going to do the username again. And this is how change password will function. Oh, not quite there. There we go. And we need password. Good. Comma here. And then those next, we need the text equals true again. And we need the check true. Okay. It's starting to look pretty good. And I need to come back one to the start of that sub process and add this in place. There we go. Now it can stop being mad at me. Okay. So we've got that in there, and now to stay in line with that try block that we did earlier, we need the accept portion for this to handle the error. So accepts in there and ready, and again sub process. This is again calling error, so we need called error. Called error process, called process error, there we go. And then again store that as E. It's best practice for it. Colon, do our tab, and then we need to print our error message. Oh, probably needs to be an F string. That would help out a lot. There we go. Failed to change password. All right, and then this also needs to call out to standard error, so we need curly brackets. That E we called on earlier, standard error. And that strip one more time. place for it to go. All right, that's looking pretty good. And we'll come back, one last else statement, and to finish this thing out, else we print our success. All right, print's looking good. Password successfully changed. Password changed. Hooray! Oh, there we go. Goodness. Okay, and at the end of all this, we'll print the last message saying that I made the script. All right. Oh, maybe not that kind of buy, right? Okay, so I'm going to throw some quick comments in here, and we're going to go ahead and move on to testing this script. So let's do that real quick. Handles error. Error statement. Good, and this prints the error statement. So this will inform user. This will, I make sure this is from password. Informs user of error. Perfect. Print success statement. Perfect. And then this prints my name. Okay. That'll be good for now. So I'm going to save this and transfer it over to my virtual machine. I'll meet you over there in just a minute. Okay, we're back. And before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I forgot something. Commas. These matter a lot to this. So I've got to add some commas in this right section to make sure this flows smoothly. I put one here. Got one there, there, and there. Perfect. So with those commas in place, we're going to save this script. Now I've got it as user add, and I've got to move it over to my virtual machine. So I did a test one earlier. We'll do the same thing again. Required my password. Perfect. And it's over there. So let's go to the virtual machine. And here I've got that virtual machine pulled up. Perfect. And there it is, user add. Did a secure copy transfer over that. But now I've got to chmod that. Good. Now that it's in place, that should have made it executable. Color has changed, which doesn't always mean it did what you want, but in this case, it should. So we're going to go ahead and do one thing first. I didn't add the shebang for this one, but we can just use the Python 3 function, which this comes with, and we can use this script now. All right. Please enter a username. We're going to do, let's do Zen. Add an 8-character password. So let's see. Let's do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Password invalid. Please try again. That function works. That's good. So let's do an 8-character password. All right. And it's asking for the actual password for the administrator account on this. So I'll punch that in real quick. All right, password changed for Mason C. Oh, script made by Mason C. So that worked. Okay, and so we can actually check the users here, and we're just going to do this. We'll do get in. Oh, there it is, just a little slow today. That's all right. And it should print a whole bunch. But look at this, that last one right there, Zen. We just added it, and he's got his own home directory just like we wanted. So we'll clear all that out. And I hope you enjoyed the video with our Python script on how to add users to Linux systems. You guys enjoy your day.